Hey guys, welcome to Aaron's Automotive. Today's video I'm going to show you how to change the brake pads on the front end of a Dana 60 axle. Now this is only a two-wheel drive camper van or motorhome Class C, but it has the same exact hub assembly and setup as a Dana 60 does. So if you've got a two-wheel drive dually, 1 ton, this should help you out. Or if you've got a Dana 60, this will help you out as well. So first thing you're going to do, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some penetrant. This is the gum out, freeze out stuff. I love this stuff because it actually gets really deep into the threads and it actually creeps up into there, so I should give you a show. Spray this one down here. You can just see how that penetrant just kind of creeps up through everything. In fact, if you watch this one right here, the nozzle's on. Watch how it creeps up. You see it taking up the rest of the bolt right there. So this stuff works really well. So it says it freezes parts to minus 42 Celsius. I don't believe that one bit. But once you've got the wheels soaked down, the lug nuts, you gotta crawl under the vehicle and lift it up to get the tire off. So I got a 12-ton hydraulic jack that I'm using. That should be high enough. Pull that out. And I'm going to throw the jack stand right under this support brace right here on the control arm. There. Should be good. I'm going to lower the camper and you'll see what I mean by the jack stand sinking a little. Not much, but it does a little. I also leave the jack in place. I'm going to put just a little bit of pressure onto it. Not enough to lift it off the stand, just enough to have some pressure on it. There. Just a kind of a double safety for myself. Then we got to take the lug nuts off. So I'm going to put you guys down onto a stand while I do that. For that, I'm using my Mastercraft electric impact gun. Makes work really light and easy. Last one. There we go. Got my lug nuts and just move the few of them that I find here. I'll put them in my box with the brake pads. I'll grab this. Now this is just allows the lug nuts to go on here because the rim has a flat surface. The bolts have a little flange on them, so that's important. Pull the tire off. Get it out of the way. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bolts. Awesome. So grab you guys back up. So now what you're going to need is a ratchet with a 1/4 inch hex head or hex bolt, whatever, as there is a shoulder bolt right here that needs to come out. You can use an Allen wrench if you got it. I prefer doing this. If I had a 3/8, I'd use my impact on it. So you want to make sure this sits in there all the way, because you don't want to strip the bolt out. So I'm going to give it a couple of taps with my ratchet. Just get it in there. And then, these usually aren't too terribly tight, but you always want to be careful. Now, it's always better to be safe than sorry and ruin it. There, so with that out, I'm going to put that in the box as well. There. Now, I have to grab a stand for you guys again right away. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a screwdriver, and I've got an extension and a hammer. And what you need to do is, right here, this is a slide bolt. There's a little spring tab under here. Let's get this to focus. And this has to slide out backwards. Once it slides backwards, this will pop up and out. So I always use a hammer, and basically I'm just going to hit there using my screwdriver. So I'm going to put you guys on a stand and start hitting away at it. Now carefully don't drop this, because you don't want to lose anything off of it. So that's the piece that slides out. I put that to the side behind the camera. Now this should slide up and out. But before I do that, what I like to do is I like to take a flared end line wrench, pull off the cap for the bleeder screw. And I always like to crack these loose first. In fact, penetrant's up there. It's a little late for that now. Dig out the grime that's in around there. And I always like to crack these loose, just nice and easy. Awesome. A little fluid come out. Because this is going to make pushing the caliper piston back in so much easier. Now I just take a little bit of a hammer, tap. That knocks that loose. Sometimes these are a big pain in the ass. There we go. So that comes up. I'm going to put that over here. I'm going to lay this up here so I don't hyperextend the brake line. And get this rear pad out. Now they aren't in terrible shape at all, but the passenger side, the front rotor here was pretty bad. It was actually worn right down to the rivets, so I decided that I was just going to buy a set of pads, replace them both with high performance. Well, not high performance, they're Napa premium pads, but they're better than what's on here. So this caliper, I guess you can't see over there. So the back pad pulls out just from the back. The front pad sits in the caliper. And what I usually do is just take a hammer and tap right like that. Knocks it loose. It's not a bad idea that I'm changing these. These are almost worn down to the rivets too. So maybe it's a good idea that I decided to do this side as well. There. So I'm going to reposition you guys so you can see what I'm doing, and we'll come right back. Alright, reposition. Hope you can see that a little better. So, next step is take your C-clamp. Now I always like to take the old brake pad from the back side, place it into the back, then I always place the C-clamp onto that, so I've got a place to push against instead of just directly on the piston. Just makes it a little bit easier, you know. There, snug that up. And this is why I wanted to break loose the bleeder screw. I'm gonna loosen it up now. Get my tools out of the way from it. Loosen that up, and as I press this in, it's going to shoot fluid out, but it's going to make pushing the piston back in so much easier. As it is, that's pretty stiff. So use my wrench for some extra leverage. No, I'm not. I'll just use my extension as some extra leverage on the C-clamp. I do have more brake fluid, so I can top up the system once it's low. And it's not a bad idea because this kind of gets rid of some of the old brown fluid from the system too. You know, I could spend the time and bleed all the old fluid out of there and suck out what's left of the reservoir and flush it through and put all clean fluid in. But I don't feel like it. You know, just push out what's ever in here. Did it to the front brakes. Did new wheel seals in our cylinders in the back already, so the wheel seals, yeah. So the line had no fluid in it at all. It had no fluid in the reservoir for the rear. So the only thing that has this really dark brown and nasty fluid left is the front. By pushing this gunk out of here, that'll help clean that up a lot better. Then I'll just top it up with fresh fluid once this is all done. There. So that is pushed in all the way again. Oh, I think I got that. Now I'm just gonna. Ooh, that's tight. And that's twisting. Right. Let's get this less stuff to twist against. Let's get this loose. Loosen that caliper up, or that clamp up. There. Clamp all loosened off. Brake pad will fall out. That'll fall out. I'm just gonna lay this up atop here again. There. Alright, get all that dust out of there. Now I got the new pad. This is the back side. I got some anti-seize. Do the same as I did to the passenger side. I'm going to apply some anti-seize to the mating surfaces. So we'll get this all anti-seized up and we'll come back. Alright, so I got the anti-seize in there. And diesel truck just drove by. I got the anti-seize on the mating surface and just right on the ends of the pads. This will just help keep down any noise from them sliding back and forth and stuff while driving. And then just gotta put the pad in. Now this one just floats in here, just kind of sits in here and floats around. And then the other one actually clamps into the caliper. So. Get this to rotate so you can see it maybe a little better, hopefully. just going to sit up in here like so. So I'm just going to throw some anti-seize as well onto this surface. Yeah, got a little anti-seize on that. Backside as well needs a little. Right here. There's that spider web on there. And a little right up top here too. There. Alright. Now I'll slide the pad into place. There, pad slid into place. You just put this in from the top side and the bottom. Well, twist into place just like so. There. Hopefully you can still see. Alright, I'm going to zoom in a little so you can see exactly what I'm going to be doing. But I'm going to put anti-seize along there and along the slider, and then I'm gonna basically tap it back in with the hammer the same way I took it out. So get you your tub of anti-seize, and here's where I like to be liberal with it. Now this, I like to be really nice and lubed up. Along that surface, along the back side. Basically everywhere that slider is going to contact, I want anti-seized. I also take a little, and I throw it onto the back side. This is the pin that's going to go in. It's going to go in like this. So the top side here, some anti-seize on. The back side gets a little anti-seize. And also, this is the spring that they use. This is a curved piece of metal that sits on top of the slider. And that too is going to get a good dose of anti-seize. There. So with everything with a nice good helping of anti-seize, I gotta crawl under the camper to get at it from the back side. Hopefully you guys can still see this. Basically this slider is gonna pop into here. I'm gonna take a hammer. I'm going to tap it from the back side a couple times, just to kind of try and help line it up. There we go. Being more of a pain than the passenger side was, that's for sure. There we go. Now that I got that started, I'll get out of the way. And just using the hammer on the side, there's not really much whacking room. And then I come at the back of it with my extension, and right where that spring bar is, I just like to give it a couple of taps and push it all the way forward. And that's going to lock this in place. Make sure that's flush. Yeah, moved it over too much. There. And now the spring bolt, or the shoulder bolt, can go back in. Grab that. Grab our 1/4 inch Allen. Now there's a little anti-seize in these threads already, so as this threads in, that'll work its way down. So just gonna thread this in. Grab my ratchet. I'm gonna collapse the ratchet so it's not so long. And this doesn't need to be crazy tight. You don't want to shear the bolt off or anything. That would suck. Alright, that moves nicely. I'm going to apply some brake pressure and make sure that that doesn't spin. So, hope I can do this where you guys can see it too. Oh, I guess I could zoom you out so you can see a little better. There, let's zoom you out. There we go. Alright. So apply some brake pressure, and that does not spin at all. And I probably blocked that off, but oh well. So now we gotta put the tire back on. Line up the studs. Take your backing plate. That on. And I always throw one lug nut on and then zip it down quickly so that I can pivot the tire and not have it fall off. And then I zip this one down too, just to hold pressure. There. Now I'll tighten them all. Now these are supposed to go down to somewhere about 115, 125-ish foot-pounds. So my electric impact gun goes to about 130-ish. So I'm not going to use a torque wrench. I think this one is buggered up. I just had a little rock in it. There we go. So I'm just going to run them down with this. After you've done that, I'm gonna oops. Always nice to have something to drink. Anyways, now you just gotta lower the vehicle. So jack it up. Release the pressure off the stand. And get the stands out of the way. There. Lower that. Get the jack out of the way. All right. So if you enjoyed this video, I ask that you give it a thumbs up, comment below, or subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.